Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've been going for a little bit, but today I'm going to be reading on the energy of Miss Ayra Starr. So I'm not too familiar with the beginning, but I'm going to try to put pieces together. But thank you all for your feedback on the Tyla video. If you have not watched that video already, I would highly suggest that you check it out. I'll put it up top. But that reading is what spawned this one, because in Tyla's reading, her energy popped up and I did look up the signs of other Afrobeat female artists. And there are a total of 4 that are, I guess, considered top artists in the genre. And Tyla and Ayra just so happen to be 2 of them. And then there are also 2 more air signs. So I'm not confirming or denying, at least in this point of the reading, that it is Ayra, but I just feel like there is some energy between the 2. And I want to clarify something from the reading I did on Tyla about the destiny swap part. I do want to clarify that because that was the present energy, not the past. So I do not feel or get that there was any type of swapping in the beginning. Tyla herself has already said that her aspiration was to be famous, and I get that. I got that energy in her reading straight out the gate, that is something that she was already working towards. So in my opinion, I don't believe that there has been any destiny swapping, at least in the beginning of their careers with one another or their interactions. I don't get that. I just got that. Something weird in the energy between the 2 presently, not the past. So for Ayra's reading, I'm going to tap into that, but I do want to do like a general reading on her just to see what's going on. I know she has a project coming later this month, and I did see that it's the first time that she titled her album without a number, because she did say she wants to switch it up a little bit. And I just thought that was interesting that both her and Tyla are going in different directions for their upcoming projects this year. But anywho, that's just my opinion. So I'm going to be doing this reading a little bit different. I'm going to be using a Lenormand deck here to kind of lead me in what direction to go in for Ayra as far as what I should read on for this reading specifically. If you only came for Tyla's part, I would highly suggest that you fast forward a little bit, because I want to save that toward the end and kind of flesh out what's going on with Ayra currently. With that said, everything said in today's reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. If this reading does not resonate with you, totally fine. I thank you for coming and watching the video nonetheless, and I may just not be the reader for you. I'm not a stan or fan YouTube channel. I'm going to be totally unbiased and just reading the energy of the cards and just giving my opinion on the energy, and that's it, and that's all. So with that said, I appreciate your viewership. I'm going to do these cards off camera just because I don't want to take up too much of the video trying to figure out what to read on her. Okay, you guys, so the first card that I received for her was adjudication. So this could be like a court situation, something very legal. Immediately I heard contract, and it's interesting because a lot of contract stuff comes up for these celebrity readings, but that's what came up for her in the center. And then the clarifiers on the 2 are that we have a pathway here, which it says long road ahead, distant future, long-term planning for this card. And then we have official person, so this could be a judge, it could be a lawyer, it could be someone of official status. They're certified or licensed to carry out whatever task they are given. But given that we have a court case or legality topic here, an official person, I'm just feeling to believe. Okay, yes, that's the confirmation. So yeah, it has something to do with legal issues here for her contractually. I have not seen any issues with her contract online, at least as of late, that's verifiable. However, I do know that she has her label, but she is managed under the Rock Nation, that label that just continuously comes up in these readings that I do on their artists. And so I would suspect, and I'm going to tap in with the tarot, that there may just be something legal here going on with Ayra. I don't know if she may be just trying to fulfill like contract obligations or trying to get out of her contract, but we'll take a look and see what's going on with her. But this is what's currently crowning her energy at the moment that Spirit wants me to read on for her. So I'm going to move these cards up, and then I'm going to get into the tarot. All right, so we have 9 of Cups to get us started. 9 of Cups to the 7 of Cups. Or whomever she signed to contractually was a wish fulfilled for her. But she's having to look at her options in this situation and reconsider whether or not this was a good move for her long term, given that it's going to be a long road ahead. She feels very, I need it done like now. I want it done tomorrow. Just very urgent type of energy where she doesn't really like to wait. All right, so we have the World here, 4 of Cups at the bottom. Allegedly, just feels like this contract that she has with whoever, maybe this is her label or her management, is going to be coming to an end with this project she has releasing. All right, and then there's the Moon here. She's ready for the cycle to close because there was some illusion around what the deal that she signed. Common thing kind of known in the industry, the music industry specifically. I just keep hearing like fine print, but it's just causing her to be ready to close out this cycle. With this benefactor, this person that she has been signed with, that is funding her music. Getting that the lawyers can't buy her out of this. She has to do it. It's not something that she can take care of financially. It feels like it's based on the number of albums owed. All right, so we have 10 of Swords here, 9 of Cups. So we wanted to sign with whoever or work with this team, but there was this betrayal here. I'm also hearing like creative direction. She may not have as much creative direction with this new project that she once had with other projects in the past. I'm not too familiar with her work. However, there just may be just some conflicting, it just feels like there's some conflicting energy around what she was able to do on this project. And I know that she mentioned she was switching it up. Allegedly, it feels like the switching up was her doing, but also her team. So I would say her team talked her into it or may have convinced her to do that. The world, we have the Hangman to Seven of Pentacles, what she has worked so hard for, what she has built. I'm just hearing like crumbling down energy, but she's having to pretty much wait it out, sacrifice. Actually, she's just having to wait for this cycle to close no matter what, but she's going to have to push this project out because of everything that has been invested into it. When we saw that King of Pentacles a moment ago, somebody that has funded or put some money into this project, studio time. And like I said a moment ago, she feels like somebody that wants things done today, yesterday, a week ago. Yeah, it feels like there may have just been some disagreements. I heard the word battles between her and her team about what they wanted to produce or work on for this project. Kind of just watching and waiting to see how people receive it, but also the page energy of fighting behind the scenes for what you want to produce. But it's going to move forward no matter what, either way it goes. Okay, so the Chariot actually came out this time, so it feels like her hope and her fear at this time is for things that are moving forward. So let me see. Yeah, she's worried about how things are going to turn out for her once this project does come out, the reception around it. Why is she worried about that? All right, so why is she worried about it? So we have Ace of Swords to the Chariot. Is she someone that talks about her personal life in her music? It feels like maybe this project, she may have a little bit of more vulnerability in this next album that might be bringing clarity to situations or what she's currently going through or experiencing. But it is coming into fruition though. It's coming forward. All right, and then we have the Emperor here to Queen of Pentacles. She's having to do some things to appease her label, her management team as well. And with that Truth card is telling me that, again, it feels like 50-50 where they want you to go into a specific direction, but you're kind of still making sure your flair or what makes you is going to be in there as well. So like I said, it just, again, just feeling like it's going to be both a mixture of what her team wanted her to sound like on this next project, but also they allowed to add some of what makes Ayra, of course, in there as well. All right, so what's challenging her currently, we have Nine of Pentacles to the Eight of Swords. And again, that King Pentacles here. It feels like, again, what's challenging her right now is that she wants to be independent financially as well, but it's like she's just locked into this contract in 3 to 5. She may have some obligations for the next 3 to 5 years. It could span a little bit. I see tours, promo, because if she releases this album in April, you know, she still has to go on a promo tour, interviews, and then she may have to do a tour as well. Allegedly, I just also heard the word 360, so she could be in a 360 deal, and that's why she cannot get out of it. But yeah, it just feels like she does want to be independent though, financially, and not have to lean on the label. So you guys, I just went and looked to see what label she was signed to. She signed to, I don't know if it's Maven or Mavin Records. It's an African label. As soon as I saw the symbol of the record label, I immediately heard Hybe, you know, the one, the heavy hitters of K-pop. This is giving the African version of it, allegedly. I feel like this is similar energy of bad business practices, allegedly. And not only is she signed to, I'm just going to call them Maven for the reading. Maven Records. She is also managed by Rock Nation as well. All right, so we have the Hierophant for the past position. Past position for her is that she enjoyed working with them at the onset. She thought that this was going to be an opportunity to bring balance. Her contracts looked good. Everything looked good in terms of signing with them and making music with them. However, it just feels like as time went on, of course, when you're in it, you finally can see it for what it actually is. It just feels like a lesson for her when it comes to business practices. But I believe she's one of the top artists there, but y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Because Rima left last year. Yeah. It's another industry situation, you guys. She's trying to deal with the dope, allegedly, but it's giving me the same energy of that other record label. But she's tied into it. She's chained to that label. And allegedly, it feels like she also signed with Rock Nation Management because she wanted to get more push that her label was not getting to try to lay the delay to rest. Let's see what the future is going to be with her and her label. All right, outcome for her. So we have 8 of Wands. I'm going to put one more. All right, so we have 8 of Wands, and then we have 4 of Swords, which actually came out this time. Yeah, in the future, she's going to be trying to rush to get the cycle closed with this label, get all of her obligations out the way, and move on. All right, so she released her first album with them in 2021, but she was signed back in 2019, and I also coincidentally saw that she signed a 5-year deal with Rock Nation last year. So, yeah, she's going to want to end this very fast, though. Like I said, it just feels like she can do a lot of this work on her own. She has the ideas and the creativity to push herself. I did see she was a model before she became a musician. yeah, in the future, she's going to have some challenges with this label situation and her management, trying to get out of these contracts. She may have some heartbreak, even though she wants it to pretty much move pretty fast, but it's not going to be that way at all. Like I said, I'm hearing like a long road ahead for her when we got this pathway card here earlier in the reading. So this is going to be a long-term situation for her. She may just end up fighting in the future with her label and her management team to get out of her contract and to fulfill her obligations. But yeah, this just feels like something that's going to span over the next few years, depending on how things go. So this is what's really prominent in her energy right now. I'm going to read on the album, and then we'll go to the last topic, which is her and Tyla. So I'm going to take this off the table. All right, so we have the Magician to start, and then we have the Lovers here at the bottom. So she's going to have some really good songs on this project. She's going to have a lot of good collaborations on there too. All right, we have Queen of Swords, which could be her. She's an air sign. And then we have the Death here. Remember when I said that with the Ace of Swords that I mentioned she may have a little bit more vulnerability in this album? But this is feeling like she may be speaking some truth, some private moments that she is willing to share with her audience on this project. I just feel like there may just be some transformation as well on this album for her, the vulnerability that she is going to be putting on this project. All right, Seven of Pentacles. And then we have Page of Cups here. So in terms of how people will receive the project, people are going to be very invested in it, wanting to know what she's talking about, who she's talking about. There may be interviews done where she has to pretty much clarify or speak on who or whom she is talking about on some of these songs. But I just feel like people are going to be very invested into the lyrics, the sound, her messages on it as well. So I think it's going to do pretty well. We have Pentacles. Yeah, she's going to make some money off of it. It's going to do pretty good for her, these leaps of faith that she took for this project. But she's going to see some money come in, and if not on her album, maybe her tour and when she has to go and do performances. But I think a lot of people are going to like this project from the general public perspective. We have two Pentacle cards here for how the public are going to perceive it. So I think it is going to, in my opinion, it's going to make her some money in the end, but her fans are going to like it. All right, let's get one more card for her album. And then we have Five of Pentacles. Judgment at the bottom. Well, this is a turn of events, because for this card, it's like the label maybe even taking a lot of the money that she's due for this project. Like I mentioned, it just feels like she allegedly may be in a 360, but in my opinion, it's a lot of the money that could be going toward her that she's going to make for this project are going to go right back into her record label, allegedly. And that is probably leading the reason, that's probably what's leading the cause for her to end her contract sooner rather than later. The Judgment at the bottom is telling me that the deals and contract that she signed in the past are the reason why it's going to be the Five of Pentacles in the future as well for this project. So it's going to do good for her, but it doesn't feel like she'll see a return on investment for the money that's made on it, allegedly. All right, so let's get into what you guys actually came for. So let's read on the energy between her and Tyla and see if it's truly Ayra's energy that was coming up in that reading. All right, so we have the High Priestess, and then at the bottom we have Page of Swords here, which is some secrets. Secretly watching and waiting and seeing how each other are doing between the two. How everyone is making it in the music space and what each other is doing. Because if I'm not mistaken, Tyla is going to be releasing an album here pretty soon. I think May or June. I can't remember, but because Ayra has her album coming out this month, Tyla has something coming out soon. But yeah, it just gives me like they both watch each other. All right, so we have Five of Swords, Queen of Wands. I just hope we're going to see who's going to come out on top. Three of Pentacles at the bottom. Somebody's planning right now. Who's planning? Tell me more about who's planning. Okay, so that came out. Who's planning? Five of Wands, Six of Wands. I'm telling y'all, it's like watching to see who's going to come out on top. It just feels like more so competition between the two of them. Like this unspoken competition of who's going to be victorious in the end. So that's between the two of them. But I'm going to ask separately, how does Ayra Starr truly feel about Tyla? Everything that I say in this reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. It feels like in the reading, at least the energy of the card is telling me that the truth about how you really got up here to this point. You have a team, you have somebody pushing you because of this Emperor here, the true relationship. She doesn't feel like this is something that's like talent-wise, but more of you did something to work your way up to the top, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. King of Swords. Yeah, she just feels like Tyla just has some backing to her, and that's why she has the success that she has. And just some underhanded things that took place so that she could get to that point. Okay, a couple more cards, and then we'll switch perspectives. Yeah, she's like, you signed your deal with the devil too. That's how you're able to be victorious. Page of Cups. I was also hearing like you give this docile, innocent, sweet artist, very personable, but really you give this devil energy here, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. So that's how she perceives her, and at least in the energy of the cards. But how does Tyla perceive Ayra? How does Tyla perceive Ayra on the flip side? Oh, okay. And then we have Nine of Wands here to the Eight of Pentacles here. It also feels like Tyla knows her label situation, that her label is not pushing her as well. And also that Tyla's on the winning team, the better label that's going to do things to propel her. Whereas Ayra is somebody that's signed with a label that's not doing much for her. But she's resilient. She's pushing through the woes of her label. Tyla knows some stuff about her and how Ayra's fighting behind the scenes. But it just feels like she knows the challenges that Ayra faces on her side. For things having to do with work, Eight of Pentacles. All right, so we have Page of Wands here, and then we have Ten of Pentacles here. Yeah, like I said, it just kind of confirms the message of the Nine of Wands. She's seeing that Ayra may have to go into a new direction, change up her sound as well. They're both changing their sound, but they're coming from two different energies in that aspect. I'm also hearing the word like copy. Like she knows Ayra has to go into this new direction so that she can make some money for her label. Why am I hearing the word copy, Spirit? Yeah, why am I hearing the word copy? And then we have the World again. Wheel of Fortune, two major arcana. Allegedly, they're both trying to fight for the same spot. It's just continuing to feel like the energy between the two. Like the top African artists fighting for different accolades against one another because people are pitting them against another. So there is a little bit of mirroring here. It feels like they both have different reasons for what they're doing. But at the end of the day, they're both trying to fight for that top spot in their genre. Yeah, they're trying to get balanced to a new beginning at the end of the day. Both of them. One's trying to propel herself, as I mentioned in Tyla's reading, propel herself to the next level. I titled it New Levels, New Devils, which is accurate. And then Ayra here at the same time, it feels like also with that contract and her label situation, trying to fulfill her obligation so that she can have a new beginning in the end because she has to fulfill her duties. Doing the same thing, but just have different reasonings for why they're doing it at the top of their energy right now. Yep, and then Queen of Swords, they're both air signs. So, yep, that's the truth. All right. And I want to clarify this destiny swapping thing because that was pretty much the topic in the comment section. I had to zoom in a little bit so y'all could see, but I want to know about the destiny swapping. What was that about the destiny swapping? Yeah, like I said, they're both just trying to work toward victory. They're both trying to be successful here by any means necessary. So it's not necessarily destiny swapping. It's more of like, this worked for her, so I'm going to do it. It's just like this copy and paste energy, y'all. That's really just what it feels like to me. Maybe viewed as destiny swapping. Like I said, I saw the conversation and I've seen comments people have made, but it just feels like they're both just kind of mirroring one another. They're just competing for the same thing. Just different reasons. Again, I'm just going to reiterate that. So that is all I have for Ayra's reading. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope this made sense and it's resonated. Are you guys fans of hers? Are you excited about this new project? What do you guys think about the label situation? If you have any insight into that. But that's all I have for her. Thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.